get started and, maybe the other people will wander in. Um, so I fixed it where everyone can share now. So if y'all want to, whoever's going to do the sharing. Well, some of the people that are missing never miss. I don't know what's going on with that.
It's saying that the to share the request is off.
Really? Because I just turned it on. Let me look again. Let's, okay, try it again.
Okay.
I'm sure it was user error on my part. I probably clicked the wrong thing. Like I said, I'm not operating at 100% today.
Okay. Let me see if I got it.
Okay, we're seeing your screen where you got it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, super.
Let me turn my camera on real quick. Okay, so good morning, everybody. My group's gonna be presenting about X in healthcare. So just a quick overview, we're gonna go over what X is, the uses in healthcare, current examples, and misinformation. So, just a quick introduction. X was formerly known as Twitter, as you may know. The change was made back in 2023. It's a social media platform that allows users to share messages, images, and links with people from all over the world. So it used to be formerly known as tweets, but now they're just called posts, that appear on the timeline where others can view and interact with them in real time. Certain interaction features include posting, liking, replying, and reposting other content. Once you create an account, you're able to follow anyone from all over the world, and liking or following people can help personalize your feed. There are also different privacy settings available, like protecting your posts, where there's like a private account, or managing who can reply or comment on your post. So essentially, X remains having the same functions as Twitter did before. It is widely used for sharing updates, news, opinions, and discussions on many topics. So I just wanted to share like a quick um statistics about the popularity of X in current day. So it's not as popular as platforms like YouTube and Facebook. As you see, it's like very low down here. It's 21% of uses. For the age range, it's mainly used by the age ranges of 18 to 29. We also see some from the ages ranges of 30 to 49. And this information is from Pew Research. So, how do I open an account? So, you can either go to the website on www.x.com or download the apps. If you have an iPhone, it would be the App Store or Google Play. You can click the option to create an account. Here's the like pictures to see what you would see once you're trying to create that account. You would fill in the information requested, like your name, phone number, email address, and then your date of birth. So then you would verify your account. X will usually send you like a verification code, whether it's to your phone or email that you provided, and you'll enter the code to verify your identity. You'll then create a password that will be used to sign into your account. You're gonna finish setting up your profile, like your handle. It's like a profile picture and then like another additional handle you can have on top. Um, you also can create your personal username and a short bio if you would like. So now you're all set up. X may suggest accounts to follow, such as news outlets, organizations, or healthcare institutions. And then I wanted to include a little fun fact is once you create a X account, you have like a X anniversary. So every year, like balloons will pop up on your page when you hit that anniversary. So moving forward, we're going to talk about the strategic uses.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa. I'll be talking about the strategic uses of X in healthcare marketing. So we just have a few strategic uses. The first one is going to be health education, Oh, can you go
Sorry.
back to the slide? It's okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So for health education, you can essentially use it to share evidence-based tips and preventative information, and also any awareness campaigns with your target audience or just the public in general. So some things can include flu prevention or mental health resources. The next one will be public health communication. So that will let you communicate in real time if you need to provide any updates for any health crisis, emergencies, or any disease outbreaks. The third one would be patient engagement. So interacting with your patients through any replies, polls, Q&A sessions. And that's really good to build trust and transparency with them as well. The next one will be brand awareness and your reputation. So this one you will want to use this to promote any of your services, any community programs you may have, any expert tips, and just kind of really giving the feel of what your brand is as well. So things like your logo, what type of content you might create. Next would be professional networking. That one is a way to also connect with other healthcare professionals, any researchers or organizations to share your knowledge and also any industry updates you may have. And then the last one is going to be traffic to healthcare resources. So X would be a good way to kind of direct your patients or your followers to any patient portals, any blog posts you may have, for them to schedule their appointments, as well as any telehealth services or anything of that sort. Next slide. Just to recap a few of the benefits of using X in healthcare communication. So you'll be able to communicate with them in real time, providing a broad reach for any health campaigns you may have, encouraging two-way interaction and engagement, and it will also help to quickly distribute that health information in a timely manner. Next slide, please. And you can hit it again. Just a few best practices for healthcare, because we want to make sure that we're not putting any personal information, any PI, so maintaining any HIPAA compliance and also protecting our patient privacy. When you are sharing on X, make sure that you share accurate and evidence-based information. You can use hashtags for any health campaigns to build awareness to the campaign that you are trying to promote. Monitoring any comments to address any misinformation on anything that you may post, because you are engaging with the public and this is real time. So it'll be important to kind of address any of those things. And also just being sure to keep posts clear, concise, and relevant. Thank you.
My name is Trisha. I'll be going over some of the examples of how healthcare organizations use X. So, healthcare organizations use X to spread awareness, market, advertise, and educate. So, on the CDC post for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, they posted an article warning people about a Salmonella outbreak that's from a Moringa capsule. They also linked the article and stated that 7 people are sick in 7 states, while 3 of them are hospitalized. They're basically just spreading awareness about disease alerts and outbreaks on their X, and they usually post public health information and safety guidance. Using X for real-time communication is helpful during the times of public health crisis and disease outbreaks, and when a topic is discussed frequently, it may end up in the trending page as the post gains more traction. And then the Mayo Clinic was marketing their hospital on X by stating that they're #1 in the nation in the US News and World Report. They're marketing that they're the best so they can gain credibility as well as bring in more patients. And then if you can go on the next slide. These are examples of how healthcare organizations are promoting their campaigns on X using hashtags. The post on the left was about the Leeds Teaching Hospital. They started a campaign on X where healthcare providers introduced themselves with the hashtag #MyNameIs. This campaign was started to humanize the staff and build trust with the public. And on the right, the Caroline Clinic started a campaign with the hashtag Yes Ma'am to encourage women to schedule mammograms and to promote breast cancer awareness. Lots of users would share stories using the hashtag Yes Ma'am, and there are lots of posts providing locations for mammogram screenings, and some posts also provided information about breast cancer awareness and how to prevent. And then the next slide. These are some educating examples on X that healthcare healthcare organizations have posted. On the left, it's the National and Jewish Health page. They provide videos on health tips, research updates, and patient resources. They frequently share preventative care um, advice on their page, and this video in their post is talking about ways to incorporate healthy habits into your life to improve your heart health. And with these posts, the hospital is promoting that they're trusted medical experts that you can trust. And on the right, the UT Southwestern Media Relations is focusing on sharing medical research on their page. In the post, they're talking about if a blood test is a good predictor for heart disease rather than checking the LDL cholesterol levels. And sharing the research increases awareness of their expertise and builds credibility and trust with their patients.
My name is Lorenzo. I'll be talking about misinformation behind X. So X contributes to kind of like an infodemic, or as a lot of people call it. An infodemic is an overabundance of information, which can both be accurate and false, which kind of makes it difficult for patients to find trustworthy guidance, especially through all social media and more specifically within X. The algorithms often prioritize engagement over accuracy. So posts kind of that provoke strong emotions like fear or outrage, which are common in health myths and re were really common over COVID, which I'll be going into more into detail later, are more likely to be amplified than calm evidence-based facts. False information on X has been shown to spread significantly faster and reach much more people than the truth, often because it is more framed as kind of like breaking news or hidden secrets, which people tend to be attracted to more on social media. And highlighting influencers or brands may also spread to false leading claim or misleading claims, kind of like miracle supplements or unproven tests for financial gain, leading to dangerous self-treatment or medical misuse. One really good example of this currently, I don't know if a lot of you guys have heard, but things like peptides, it's kind of just like a growth hormone or like growth hormones for people, especially if you're trying to improve in the gym. But there's not a lot of long-term testing, so a lot of people are kind of just assuming it's for the best and not really taking into account kind of like medical experiments because there really has had there really has been none of those done definitely recently. You can go to the next slide. So this is just one example of misinformation on X uh, by this user Mard Koldorf, saying no, thinking that everyone must be vaccinated is as scientifically flawed as thinking that nobody should. COVID vaccines are important for older, high-risk people and their caretakers. Those with prior natural infection do not need it, nor children. This kind of is a false claim, as we know now. Um, it's obviously it's great to be vaccinated for the COVID vaccine just to prevent it from happening because we're a lot past it a lot, especially the time of 2020. It was really huge problem, but yeah. And then you go to the next slide. These are just a few key takeaways from the entire presentation. So instead of correcting myths after they go viral, healthcare organizations should always use pre-bunking, which means warning patients about common misinformation tactics before they encounter them. Organizations must maintain active, verified profiles and use X's features like threads to break down complex medical research into a much more accessible and patient-friendly language for the common person to really understand what they're saying. Data shows that X users engage more with personal stories and empathetic content other than just straight facts and clinical data. So sharing stories between doctors and nurses to kind of build like that emotional bridge is going to be really important, not only in X, but in all forms of social media. And finally, admins should be using social listening tools to monitor trending health topics and report harmful misinformation using X reporting features.
Okay, those are our references. Who's gonna share the flyer?
I'm gonna do it. I'm just having some issues pulling it up real quick, but
Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, okay. So I'll be introducing the flyer. Okay. So, what is X? X is previously known as Twitter. It is a social media platform where users can share short messages, images, and link people around the world. Users can interact through likes, replies, and reposts, making it easy for information to spread quickly. Healthcare organizations use X to share updates, promote health campaigns, and communicate important information to the public. How to create an X account. So, first, you'll download the app from the App Store or Google Play. You'll go ahead and click sign up to create a new account. Enter your name, email address, or phone number. Create a unique username and secure password. Verify your account using the code sent to your email or phone. And lastly, you'll add a profile picture, bio, and profile details. Healthcare organization uses social media platforms like X to share health information, communicate with the public, and promote healthcare awareness within the communities. I'll go ahead and transition it over to Megan.
so organizations use X by conveying important health information like campaigns or just announcements in general. This can promote hospital services and programs and provide updates during like emergencies or reach communities that don't necessarily have like check their emails or anything like that. So they use X for this. They also can educate communities about health topics. Like an example of this would be COVID or like the use of like peptides or anything like that. There are many benefits to using X in healthcare. It's not really a social media platform that's very well known to be used in healthcare, but it has a lot of benefits, like real-time health updates. You can reach large audience in a short amount of time, and it encourages patient engagement as well. So some examples of these would be health tips and prevention advice, giving updates about hospital services or programs, public health alerts, and all of this information can be shared to a large audience in a short amount of time, which makes this ideal for sending out big updates like that. And that concludes our presentation for today. Do we have any questions or anything like that?
Great job. Flyers very aesthetically pleasing, the colors. Okay, good job. We have one more group, which is group 2 with TikTok. And we are still missing 8 people. I'm not sure where those people are roaming around. Okay, is everybody here in group 2?
Yes, but I believe
Yep.
Kalia's arriving a little bit late.
So she's not in the waiting room, is she? Nope, I don't see her.
Oh.
Okay.
But I'll start sharing my screen for the brochure and the PowerPoint, and we'll start off with the brochure.
Okay.
Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
can.
can see it.
So you've been in contact with Kalia?
Yes.
Okay. That looks like we lost somebody else. Okay. All of y'all are here except Kalia, though, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
My number just dropped on a participant, so somebody scoodled out of here. Okay. We'll have to figure out who. All right.
Okay. Can you guys see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, I
Can.
can
Yep.
see it. Yeah.
Okay. But we're starting off with this. Okay, for you guys to show only the brochure, right? Or
Yep, just the brochure.
okay. Okay. So hello everyone, good morning. My name is Alexis and my group is TikTok. So our other team members are Stephen Wong, Hawabi, Alexia, Kalia, and Tara Flores. So this is a front page of a brochure. So here we introduce TikTok as a global social media platform used to create and share short videos. We also explain here that the For You page personalizes content for each user based on their interests. We also highlight the key features such as short form videos, hashtags, duets, stitches, and live streams that allow users to interact and engage with content. We also include here in the middle the demographic and its statistics showing TikTok's largest global audience and that many users are mainly between 18 to 34 years old. And here we also demonstrate why TikTok is an effective platform for organizations, including healthcare, to reach the younger audiences and share information. And next on the inside of the brochure, here we show how healthcare organizations use TikTok for health education, awareness campaigns, and patient engagement. We also provide some examples of how some organizations like St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and Mount Sinai Health System use TikTok to share information and connect with the public. And as you can see in the bottom right, we have St. Jude's video, one of their videos that says, here are three underrated reasons on why and you should donate to St. Jude. And here on the second image, we have a little screenshot of the front page of Mount Sinai Healthcare System's TikTok account. And here in this brochure as well, we also explain how short, engaging videos can help educate people about symptoms, treatment, and healthy lifestyle. And we also describe how TikTok can help build trust and encourage people, especially young and old, to seek reliable medical advice. And here we also include a step-by-step instruction on how to create a TikTok account and post a video. So basically, you first just download TikTok to your phone, and you open the app, and it's going to prompt you to sign in or make an account. And usually, people make an account and input their information. And once you've done all that, the first thing you do is just start scrolling like everybody else. And right here, we just end with our references supporting the information with the brochure. And that's it for the brochure. Now, can everybody see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, as I said already, so my name is Alexis, and this is group 2, and our social media is TikTok, and our presentation title is When Will It Be Time for Healthcare Organizations to Use It Properly? So a quick topic overview is we are going to begin with introduction, and then following that is going to be the purpose of social media, specifically TikTok. And next we'll follow up with how to use TikTok within healthcare organizations. Next up is how to manage content creation and how to promote using TikTok. And we will be ending off with our concluding thoughts. So TikTok has over 1 billion active users worldwide daily, making it one of the largest social media platforms. And healthcare organizations are increasingly using TikTok to reach the public and share their health information. And this platform allows organizations, specifically healthcare organizations, to engage audiences through short form, informative, and engaging videos. And then we'll further on in the presentation explain how healthcare organizations can use TikTok to promote health education, awareness, and their services. So since Kalia isn't here, I'll be explaining her part. So here in this slide, we explain the purpose of TikTok. So here, for healthcare organizations and individuals, it helps them stay connected with one another. And it's easy to share information such as news, updates, and education. It helps build community with similar interests. And organizations mainly use it for marketing and outreach, specifically for their services and any sort of community engagement events that they host. And it's basically just a great app to spread awareness towards millions of people, not only in your community, but also nationally and globally.
Okay, on this slide, we're going to be sharing about how to grow your healthcare organization TikTok following, or in other words, how to use TikTok effectively within healthcare. So first, you have to share short evidence-based videos, so to catch viewers' attention quickly. So around 30 to 60 seconds, as how the platform is structured, that are focused on one clear health message. So something that's clear enough to really engage an audience. It's used to translate complex medical information into simple, easy to understand language. So something that's once again universal and global since it reaches a very large audience. To promote preventative care, wellness tips, and address common health myths, since there's a lot of misinformation online with, a lot of, medical misinformation and a lot of propaganda that people like to spread. Using captions and clear visuals to improve accessibility and engagement. Maintaining professionalism, so following HIPAA, protecting patient privacy, and obtaining consent when required. Avoiding providing individualized medical advice and including educational disclaimers, once again, just following HIPAA and privacy within patients. Engaging with viewers by responding to common questions and using trending health topics. And monitoring performance using analytics, so whether that be throughout the TikTok platform or just your individual platforms, using views, shares, comments, follower growths to refine strategies and to further reach a bigger audience.
So on this side, we're going to be explaining how content creation can help promote healthcare in a more engaging and effective way. Since a lot of people use social media almost every day, platforms like TikTok can be very powerful tools for sharing health information. One way we found we could do this is by creating short educational videos that make medical topics way easier to understand and encourage prevention. It's also very important to build trust by using relatable communication while still keeping that information medically accurate. Healthcare organizations usually can use trends, captions, and strong visuals to really grab the audience's attention and increase their engagement. At the same time, they should make sure that the content stays professional and reliable. Lastly, analytics like views, shares, and comments can help measure success and improve future content. Overall, content creation is a very useful way to connect with audiences and make healthcare information more accessible.
Okay, so next, I'll be going over how TikTok can strengthen healthcare organizations' marketing strategies. So there are three benefits that TikTok offers, such as technologies. So TikTok's algorithm is extremely powerful. It offers personalized feeds, precise audience targeting, effective campaign management, enhanced creative opportunities, and the ability to foster a strong sense of community within the app. It also has optimized for business goals. So with TikTok Ads Manager, healthcare organizations can generate leads, promote its services, and increase sales by actively engaging with patients and customers, offering them the opportunity to become clients. The feature is also designed specifically for businesses to help achieve their objectives and manage advertising content more effectively. Lastly, it also builds trust through interactive features. The platform focuses on creating a safe space for everyone to learn and grow by fostering genuine human connections that allows people questions to be answered and ensure that their voices are heard. Building trust, the app it's also well equipped with advanced safety features, robust data security, and sophisticated tools to protect users while bringing businesses within reach of customers by building long-term relationships. So on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, we can see the TikTok Ads Manager dashboard, which displays the campaign report of a business entity. You can clearly see how sophisticated and powerful this marketing tool is, as it presents all the statistical informations relevant to marketing and business purposes. For instance, the dashboard indicates the number of impressions generated by the campaign, which is 2.54 million, as well as the number of clicks, which is 23,420. Additionally, it also shows the distributions by age group, which is crucial for healthcare organizations when developing marketing strategies for specific target audiences. There's also general information such as the total cost of the campaign and the number of individuals in the marketing campaign that was able to reach.
So, among other goals, one of the major goals that social media or specifically TikTok has for healthcare administration is to create a large community engagement. And this can be done in simple ways. As Hawabi and Tara mentioned, posting short videos and providing accurate information with simple and easy to understand language. This could be done by posting an explanation of disease prevention, nutrition facts, or mental health tips, as well as using TikTok's Stitch and Duet features to correct misinformation and explain viral health trends. And finally, our concluding thoughts are that social media is a powerful tool outside of creating entertaining content, and it can be used to share important health information and help connect healthcare providers with their communities, as well as health education can easily be taught and shared across the TikTok platform through the use of short videos. Entertaining and easy to understand content can improve engagement and community outreach. And by posting clear and professional content, you can build a stronger relationship with your viewers. And overall, it just encourages people to take an interest on their own health and improve their health awareness. Thank you.
And that
Okay.
concludes our presentation. Thank you, everybody.
Good job. All right. All the groups did really, really well. And really, I learned something new on every single one. On this one, the thing about the statistics, really nice job on marketing statistics. They're constantly improving all these social media, and the more information y'all have, the more marketable y'all are going to be on the job market. So good job, everybody. All right. You kind of catch me up here. We're going to go over the remainder of the proposal today. And remember, there's extra credit options tomorrow night. from 6 to 7. I sent y'all the flyer with the link on it. Should be a very interesting presentation. And because I'm a little aggravated because people chose not to come to class today, everyone that was here at the beginning of class before all the presentations started and stayed to the end is going to get 2 points extra credit for coming today. So instead of having a 2 in your slot for credit today, you will have a 4. So just want to let y'all know because it was really important to me that people come and see these presentations. So I'm not sure why people chose to take the day off. So anyway, those of you that came will have that extra credit popping up today or when I put it into the computer. All righty. Any questions on anything so far? All righty. I'm going to share my screen and we will go over the rest of this. And keep in mind that even though I'm going over it now, I know I'm hitting it pretty fast. But if y'all have questions when y'all start working on it, no question in my mind is ever a dumb question. I don't care what it is, and I don't care if I answer it 55 times. I'm always happy to answer it again because I don't want anybody to ever not know how to do something because, you know, they didn't understand or it didn't make sense or whatever it happened to be. Even though it might make perfect sense to me or to somebody else, sometimes, you know, it just needs to be said a different way. So don't ever sit and worry like, what am I going to do about this? Because I spent enough years doing that when I was in grad school, and I know how unpleasant that is. Okay. I know I had one class, I probably told y'all about it, my last statistics class. We had 5 textbooks, and it was just so awfully hard. And I spent probably a good part of the semester crying because I was just sure I wouldn't pass the class. And we had 30-something students that were in the class on the first day. And by the time the class was over, there were only 5 of us left. Everybody else dropped. But it was, all of us were too afraid. My eyes are watering today from allergies. All of us were too afraid to say anything to the professor because he was kind of scary. And so it made it even harder. So I completely understand when something doesn't quite make sense. Okay, I think we went over down through the company profile. Somebody tell me, did we do industry overview in this class? Do y'all remember?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right, super. Okay, so when you're looking at the industry overview for this project, it's just kind of looking and seeing what's going on in the industry for whatever you select for your project. So if, for instance, if you're doing a that's always the easiest one for me to come up with, a plastic surgery center or something along those lines, then you're going to have to look at social changes in particular because the way people view spending money on vanity type procedures sometimes will change from year to year, from, political regime to political regime to whatever it happens to be. So social changes can really create havoc for some types of businesses. And this link, if it doesn't work, let me know and I'll find some other ones. But these 2 links give you some examples of social changes and how they can affect companies. Now, if you're doing something that requires reimbursement, if you're in most medical fields which require reimbursement, then you need to really stay up to date on what's changing as far as reimbursement. And there's some examples on these links, but what has changed, one big one that's changed recently was the Ozempic, because so many people are taking it for not what it was intended to be taken for, although it seems to work quite well. They're having to, hang on one second. I got to see what this message is. Yes. Yes, it is being recorded. So because so many people are taking it, insurance companies are putting the skids on paying for it. So a lot of people are having to quit taking it because it's really extraordinarily expensive if you buy it outright. So those types of changes, reimbursement changes, can can really affect your business. So you need to kind of keep up with what's going on in that area. And for your project, you can just look, and if you can just find a couple of examples that you found in recent times of changes. And I'm telling you, with the changeover from Democrat to Republican, there's been a lot of changes. So it's pretty easy for any area to find some type of change. Some are good, some are bad. None of them are all bad and none of them are all good. So, and also it, is driven by opinion too. So that's what it is are you still able to get reimbursed as a business for some of the services that you offer? The demographic changes, there's all kinds of demographic changes. There's changes that occur because maybe people aren't having as many kids, maybe they're not having kids at all. Maybe there's all kinds of changes. There's changes in economics, demographically, there's shifts on what people can afford. There's areas have demographic changes on what they used to service and now they don't. You might have been let's take a really prime example. Let's look at downtown LA, Hollywood, all that area. In the 40s, 30s, 40s, that place was thriving. It was really a very elite place to live. And there's still some pockets that are really very, very nice and pretty, but for the most part, the new rich or the people who have a lot of money, they are moving out of that area for various reasons. So the demographics of the people who live in that area has changed drastically since the 30s and 40s, 50s, 60s even. So if you had some sort of a high-end clinic in downtown LA, it might have thrived very well for many years because people weren't living out in the suburbs. They were living in the area. But once people started moving out and the whole demographic and the whole cultural change, the shift happened, then most people were not willing to come back down to that area. So that might create a problem for some types of businesses because the people you serviced, your target group, kind of left your area. So anyway, demographic changes can make a huge difference in many different ways. Healthcare delivery changes. That is one of the biggest things that's happened to healthcare particularly since COVID. The pendulum swings back and forth, as they always say. When I was growing up, doctors came to your house, believe it or not. They literally made house calls. And in the mornings, they went to see the patients who didn't want to get out and come to their office. So they literally came to your house. And then in the afternoons, they saw patients in the office. Well, all those things disappeared. But as people get busy and, are looking for ways to be different, to make their service be more in demand, then we began to see along about the, 2015, 16, 17, you started to see a few things like ZocDoc showing up and some of these things where you could do it by the internet. Didn't catch on a lot until COVID. Then people really did not want to go into doctor's offices. They just didn't want to go. So there began to be more than just ZocDoc. All these different internet-driven services started to pop up. So that's a huge change as far as healthcare delivery. Other types of changes. I had one group several years ago do a presentation on a mobile delivery of scanning of sonograms. So what they did was they had a completely decked out truck or van, and they would take the sonogram to the individual in their home. And oftentimes these individuals have, other children. So they even in their plan, they brought a caregiver with them to go in and watch those kids for that 15, 20, 30 minutes, however long it took, so that that person could have her sonogram and not have to get a babysitter, get in the car, haul all those kids, blah, blah. So it was a really neat idea. and it was definitely a delivery change as opposed to packing everybody and everything up and heading to the doctor's office. So delivery changes have really hit healthcare hard since COVID. I've also seen advertisements for regular primary care doctors who don't have offices. They come to you, but they charge you dearly for that service. They have a full-size setup van that's got, where they can run like simple tests, blood sugar, that kind of thing. But they come to you to your home in order to deliver their service. So delivery changes have affected many, many areas of home care and home health care. All right. There is no business more regulated than healthcare. I don't care what it is. You are regulated and overseen by the hospital, the city, the county, the state, the federal government, the AMA, some of these powerful groups, organizations. There's all kinds of, oversight. So there's all kinds of regulatory, regulations change, what's required, what's not required, what has to be done, what doesn't have to be done, changes all the time. Political changes will hit that healthcare every time. If you turn the TV on at all and watch the news even 1 minute a day, you'll see something about Obamacare and being torn down, or Obamacare, being trying to save it, or whatever it happens to be. That's what's got our government, a lot of what's got our government shut down right now, is the differences of opinion on what should happen with healthcare. So how is that going to affect your business? And you just have to give a couple of examples. Now, key success factors in your segment of the industry. This can't just be what you create out of your mind, although I know a lot of you are very bright and can come up with what you think is a success factor. But there are known key success factors in every segment of the industry. There's some examples on the Becker Hospital Review, but you can also find examples on the Department of Labor side, on Glassdoor, and many other agencies that put up that information. All you need to do is go into Google, and in this case, as long as you don't copy it directly, AI can be a big help for you. They can tell you where to go to look for these things, and they can list some of them for you and tell you where they got them from. A lot of times AI is used too much and not ethically. But in this case, AI can be a real help for you. Okay, now, barriers to entry into your segment of the industry. Lots of things can stop a person from starting a business, and a lot of times, primarily, it's money. If you want to start, let's say you want to have an MRI clinic that does nothing but gets MRIs, and there's lots of them around. You'd have to look and see, well, where are the ones that are already around, and how are they located, and where I'm going to be, are they going to cause me not to have a lot of business? Do I have the money to buy the initial MRI machine? Do I know all the regulations involved? Do I know what kind of certifications do I have? What do I need to have? What kind of licenses do I need to have? So there's all kinds of things that make it difficult for you to get into the industry. And that's basically what the barrier is. What is going to stop me from opening this business successfully? Now that you got it open and you figure out this is either that it's not what you want to do, or possibly that it is, you just can't make it. You're not making money. You're losing money every single month. So what you want to do is just shut down that door, lock it, and walk away. But you can't do that. There's lots of barriers to exit. Some of them are patients in the pipeline. If you've taken money from the government, from the insurance companies, from anybody for services that are being rendered to a patient, then you can't just walk away and leave that patient looking at a door that's shut and locked and said, we're no longer in business. you have to make arrangements for that patient to be picked up by somebody else, someone else to continue their care. You also, if you've leased a building, then you need to, how are you going to get out of the lease? Because usually the leases are quite long for businesses. All the debt that you already have on the company, how are you going to pay it? You can't just shut your door and walk away. They will come get you. There's all kinds of things that can happen that can keep you from just walking away from your business. And honestly, the people who you're debtors, they don't care if you lose money every week or every day. They want their money back. And people that cite you for not having proper licensing or not having, certifications or whatever it happens to be, they also don't care if you're losing money. What they care about is that you're operating out of compliance. So there's lots of things that can stop you from, being able to get out of the business. Okay. Now, the service overview, actually, what are you providing? What are you providing? So, and what are the unique features or benefits of your new service? You may be providing you may want to open an orthopedic clinic, but there's already a very successful orthopedic clinic 2 miles away. What do you have that makes you unique and different from them? Maybe you have state-of-the-art equipment. Maybe you have a doctor, a specialist that is like the #1 in the nation. Maybe you have better hours. Maybe you can get an appointment a lot quicker. What are some of your unique features or benefits that set you apart from the ones that are already currently in business? And what value does it provide to key target markets? Remember, you have every business has a target market. And if you're in the best example I always give is if you are a let me think for a minute. Let's see. Home birthing. Okay. If you're a home birthing business where basically you go to a birthing center and you can have your baby in a bathtub or however they do it. But it's supposed to be much calmer, much more relaxed than being in a hospital. All right. How are you going to get out the word that you exist? Probably you're not going to go into a long-term care facility and waste your money on advertising there, right? So you need to know who your key target markets are, and you need to have it very concise on what you provide to them. What value do you provide to them that they may not be able to get somewhere else? It could be something so simple as you're open 24 hours a day, or it could be, so simple that, you have parking all the time. They're not going to have to go walk 6 blocks to get to you if they're in labor, whatever it happens to be. But what value do you bring to these key, to your target market? And then what are the benefits of the new service proposal? What overall, what is it that you're providing? And how's it positioned against others' existing services? Like this is your competition that's already in business, and there has to be a real business that you're comparing yourself to. So what do you offer that's different from them? And a little quick SWOT analysis tells you what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, how can I capitalize on their weaknesses, and then what are you doing differently? And this could be any number of things. It could be that we'll give you an appointment within 24 hours. We will make it work. We have better hours. You're open at 6 a.m. instead of at 8, or you stay up until 7 instead of 5. Whatever it happens to be, maybe patients are seen by a doctor and not a nurse practitioner. What are you doing differently? More personalized treatment. There's, You have follow-up calls, whatever it happens to be. What are you doing differently that makes you different from your competition? Now, this particular area is one that students often get jammed up on. I don't know. So I'm going to try to say it several different ways. So competitive analysis. You're going to choose a company in the area of where you want to do your business that is the same type of business that would be your chief competitor, a real company, not one that you create, not a combination of 3 or 4 companies, but a real company that is would be your chief competition. You're going to describe what their services are, what makes them different from you and from their other competition, what makes them different than other people who are in the same business. What are they doing different? And then what real value do they deliver to the customer that others do not? So what is it that they do for the customer or the client or the patient that other companies are not meeting that need? And, this could be, maybe they have, depending on what kind of business is, maybe some kind of payment plan. Maybe there's follow-up calls. There's all kinds of things that they could be doing that other people are not, that makes people come to them and stay with them. All right. You have to describe their customer profile. You can figure that out by what they offer and by, you can find the reviews on them and you can get an idea of what types of demographics are the people who are reviewing this particular company. For instance, if it's plastic surgery, they're probably upper middle class, higher upper middle income, probably business professionals, anything you can do to describe the people that probably, now it won't be exact because you don't know, you're not sitting in their office looking, but from the different reviews and from what you see on the website on how they talk about what services they offer, you can get an idea on what their customer profile is. Now, the pricing strategy can be pretty broad, but you need to have at least some points of specifics. Like if it's, let's see, if it is, again, let's say a dermatologist clinic and they specialize in weight loss. So maybe they have Botox, a special type of Botox, and it's more expensive, or maybe, you buy 2, get 1 free. I don't know anything about it, except the pricing strategy is, how did they do it? Did they give you to keep you coming back? Do you join some sort of where you pay for 12 visits? And, how do they get their money? Because those, clearly, a lot of those will not be reimbursable. Okay, what is the marketing approach? A lot of times, a lot of these companies that have been around forever, they actually don't do a lot of marketing. It's word of mouth. But you can look around and see, do they have social media pages? Do they send out flyers? Do they have billboards? What is their approach to marketing? Is it just satisfied customers? How do they approach letting people know who they are? And then why do customers buy them or use them? So why do customers come back to them? What makes them special? Why do referrals work? What are some of the referral sources? You can have referrals from word of mouth from your own patients, or you could have referrals from other doctors, or other clinics. You could have some sort of an agreement with, various entities where if anyone needs a plastic surgeon or a dermatologist, then the current doctor could say, well, I know this one and they work with us or something like that. So what are their referral sources? How do people find them? And then what are the opportunities or threats to your organization? So opportunities would be, what are they not doing that you could do that customers would want? What can you offer? Their weaknesses, that's your opportunities. Their threats are maybe they're doing something really well. Should you get into that area or should you specialize in something else? So, all of you have been hounded with the SWOT analysis for, I'm sure, for several years. So you all know opportunities and threats. If you don't, then let me know and we'll do a little SWOT exercise on one of our class times. Okay, the place where you're going to deliver your service. Again, some students don't catch this completely. This has to be a real building. You have to go to Zillow or to some of these Century 21 business leases. Whatever it happens to be, you're going to find a real building and you're going to have to get all the information on that building. Floor plan. If in fact that most of the business offices will give you a floor plan or they'll show you a virtual picture that you'll be able to create a floor plan. They'll give you a virtual tour. There are lots of softwares, apps out on the web that you can put dimensions in and you can create your own floor plan for free. They're not, and I'm not going to look for 100% accuracy. What I'm going to look for is name the rooms. Is this an exam room? Is it a coffee room? Is it, whatever it is. And you need to put dimensions in those rooms. Like a lot of exam rooms might be 6 by 6 and you get to a fancier one and they might have a chair in them and, a nice view or whatever, but those rooms might be a little bit bigger. So you're going to have what the room is on the floor plan and how big it is, the dimensions, like length by width. All right. What's the cost of this manner of distribution? Well, clearly it's all the utilities, it's the lease, it's insurance, and you need to get estimates. You should be able to find out right what the lease is. And usually in the business ones, they'll tell you that utilities are approximately X dollars a month. And some of them are even included in the lease, depending on some of these high-rise buildings. You got to look at, who keeps it clean. Is it provided by the leaser? Or do you have to, have a janitorial service? Think outside the box. Look at all the things that would cost you to open up a business and how much it's going to cost you a month. And all those things, they're all overhead, which means you cannot direct bill them. So that's money that you have to have, whether a patient walks in the door or not. Okay. Then does it provide any competitive, what is the marketing advantage of location? How can you market it? What makes that location better? And you can use that in your marketing. If you're doing a oxygen, like I had one group one time that did an oxygen business where you could go in and have various types of oxygen. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they were located in a mall. Well, the advantage was that it was easy. You could just put up flyers. You could put up those blinking signs or whatever it happens to be. So there's a lot of advantage to being at that location because a lot of foot traffic. As far as it's good to be on a bus line, depending on what kind of clinic you are. If you're a free clinic, you need to be on bus lines, train lines. You need to be walking distance from areas where the most people are populated that would need a free clinic. Does it fit into that area? And then the competitive advantage would be maybe you're close to a hospital. Maybe you're there's no business that provides the same thing you do within a 10-mile radius. It's easy to get to again because it's all the freeways. You can get to it fairly easy with exits. You don't have to do a bunch of U-turns and stuff, those kinds of things. And then are there exit issues? And so there's always exit issues, and this kind of crosses over to the same type of the same information earlier as barriers to exit. What are some of the reasons that you couldn't just shut your door and go? All right, starting to run low on time. Pricing, FTE means full-time equivalent. These are your full-time employees. What are they going to cost you? Some of them will be billable. to billable hours because you'll be able to bill their services direct. Others will not. Your file clerks, your receptionists, they are not billable. So that's all part of your overhead. But how many full-time people? New companies tend to have people do several jobs so that because there's not enough work in any one particular job for a full-time employee. So they will add a lot of different positions to that one when you first get started. Then as you get busier, you can start peeling it off and separating those tasks. Again, overhead is everything that you have to pay, regardless of whether you have any clients or not. It's all the stuff that's not billable. What is your margin? How much is coming in? How much is going out? What percent is that? There are calculators out there for that. And because you aren't opening a business, you're going to have to do research on the web and find every single company that is publicly held, has shareholders, will have some sort of business plan out there or their yearly year-end information because it's public knowledge if it's publicly traded. So you can go and look and see what the typical is and just guesstimate from that, what the typical margin of income, outcome, expenses, those kinds of things. That's where you're going to be getting your information for the stuff below. And we'll get to that. And if we don't get to it today, we'll finish on Tuesday. In fact, I'm going to finish with this section and then we'll take up here after the speaker on Tuesday. The low, medium, high, that's a really easy answer. That is, how do you compare in the prices you charge to your competitor? If you're lower than them, then you know you're lower. If you're about the same, you're medium. And if you charge more, then you're high. And that's the only answer you need there. These answers, again, can be paragraph or they can be bulleted. But remember that you have to have references in the answers as well as in a reference sheet at the back. And it has to be APA correct. All right, I'm going to stop there. Let me stop sharing. And I know you're probably a little overwhelmed, but this gives you an idea because I know you got to get your contract and it's due Sunday and divvy out all the parts to the various people. Are there any questions? Okay.
Nope.
Good. Thank you. All right. I love to get an answer, especially, when you're not in person and I just see a lot of pictures. So again, extra credit possibility tomorrow night. We do have class on Tuesday. Please be on time because we have a guest speaker. She's really interesting. She talks about the use of color in marketing. It's a lot of fun. And then after that, we'll finish up this, going over this proposal. All right, we are out of time. I hope y'all have a great weekend. And I will see y'all on Tuesday. And if you have any questions while y'all are working on this, if you have group issues with your group, let me know ahead of time because let me be able to step in. I'm not like other professors that say, well, y'all need to work it out. I know how irritating it is. So, I will try to remedy it. And if I have to, I will grade separate. I don't like to, but I will grade separate if I have to, if someone's not doing their job. I do not believe in giving anyone credit for somebody else's work. Okay. If you don't have any questions, y'all have a great weekend and we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome.
Hello, Professor.
Hi.
Talk to you about me being a couple minutes late. My laptop was updating this morning, and that's why I couldn't join in time. But I just wanted to let you know so you didn't think I wasn't trying to show up to class.
Oh no, I knew you were. I figured there were things you weren't real late,
Yeah.
So, but it was unusual for you not to be here early.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I didn't
always
know
here
that,
early.
but I didn't put a mark by your name because you weren't real late. It's the ones that didn't come or came
Yeah.
at the end of the second one that just aggravated me today.
Yeah, because I'm always here like at least 10 minutes before when
Yeah, I
we're
know. You're one of the first ones here. I know
Yeah.
when I saw it, she must be having issues. So
Yeah,
Okay, thanks for letting me know though.
of course. You have a good one.
You too. Trisha, question? Vanessa, question? Okay.